A drunk passenger is disturbing the others. There are other empty seats. What would you do? 2. Suppose the same thing happens, but there is no empty seat. What would you do? 3. The seat is broken and the passenger can't move it. There isn't any other free seat. What would you do? 4. A passenger boards with his or her pet. What would you do? 5. A passenger boards with a wrong-sized suitcase. What would you do? 6. A dizzy, sick passenger asks for help. What would you do? 7. A passenger is afraid of turbulences. What would you do? 8. A passenger eats and asks for a second helping, but there is no extra food. What would you do? 9. The same thing happens, but there is some food left. What would you do? 10. You drop the tray with a meal over a passenger. What would you do? 11. A passenger can't eat any other food on board. What would you do? 12. A mother asks for baby food. What would you do? 13. A mother asks for a feeding bottle. What would you do? 14. A passenger takes the wrong seats. What would you do? 15. Two passengers have the same seat number. What will you do? 16. A passenger is sitting in the first class row with a tourist ticket. What would you do? 17. A passenger is smoking in a non-smoking area. What would you do? 18. You spilled water on a passenger. What would you do? 19. You will have to return, because the airport is closed. What you say? 20. In case of crash forced landing. What would you say? 21. You have to give instructions in an emergency. What would you say? 22. In case a doctor is required. What would you say? 23. A passenger is standing where it is not permitted. What would you do? 24. A passenger is having an argument with another passenger. What would you do? 25. A passenger complains about the food. What would you do? 26. A passenger asks you to visit the cockpit. What would you do? 27. A mother asks for a place to change your baby's diaper. What would you do? 28. A passenger vomits. What would you do? 29. A passenger has a gun and points it at you. What would you do? 30. A passenger with mental problems hits his neighbor. What would you do? 31. A passenger is making a lot of noise and disturbing the others. What would you do? 32. A passenger eats, puts the tray under the seat and falls asleep. What would you do? 33. A passenger dies before the plane takes off. What would you do? 34. A passenger dies during the flight. What would you do? 35. A passenger wants something to read. What would you do? 36. The plane is about to land and a passenger refuses to put a seatbelt. What would you do? 37. The plane is having serious technical problems and it is falling very fast. What would you do?